Hey Connor. Yeah, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. I'm actually super excited. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but for Christmas my parents got me a keyboard and it got delivered today. So I was super
Oh,
excited
nice.
to
That's awesome.
get that.
Uh, do you have it set up right now?
Yeah, I got it set up.
What What is it?
It's I you won't recognize the name.
Okay.
Um, Alexius, I think is the name. But it's
Okay.
pretty solid. It's not like one of the plastic keys. It's got like actual
Yep.
real like wooden keys, so really
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, but
Nice. That's
excited for
cool.
that.
Dude, it's funny. I've been getting tons of ads on my Instagram
Yeah.
for keyboards, which I never even talked about keyboards, but I feel like I see
Really?
them everywhere. That's why I was asking what it is. That's funny.
Wow, that's hilarious. By the way, I upgraded my my podcast setup a little bit. So we
Okay.
got this mic here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yep, I can see it.
So it looks super fancy, but I got it. I don't know if I ever told you about this, but the Discord that I'm part of, where they tell me like what kind of sneakers to buy and resell. I've
Okay.
been in it for I think more than 2 years now, and they have like so many extra features. Like it's really well set up. But one of the perks that they have is they have a monitor for stuff on Amazon that gets super discounted, for like whatever glitches in the system. And so I got
Okay.
this podcast mic for free. It was probably like I don't know $60, and so over the years I've gotten a ton of random things for
Dude, that's
free.
sweet.
And so I just had it sitting around in my house for, I don't know, a year. And for
Yeah.
some reason I didn't get rid of it. I don't know. And then I was back there for Christmas and I brought this and then I don't know if you can see it in my glasses. I have this little ring light,
Oh, the ring light. Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
which super is super nice, helps me kind of stay lit up. Um, yeah, so got some upgrades and then I swapped out my computer. I mentioned that, MacBook Pro now. So doing
Okay.
a little bit of editing.
Dude,
Yeah.
yep. Dude, okay, so MacBook Pro you upgraded? Is it much better?
It is. It's only frozen up like once, and I think that was because of an app. But in terms of editing, it's not perfect, but it's much
Okay,
better. Like three or four
nice.
times as fast as the MacBook Air.
Wow, that's
But
awesome.
still, it's not great when you do certain things. But aside from editing, like everything else is super smooth. I really
Nice.
like it. I think you have the MacBook Air, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the MacBook Pro has this like little touch bar that you can, like on the top of the keyboard. You might have seen it on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. It's not
Yep.
super useful, um, but it's kind of fun to have, I guess. I think
Yeah. I
I don't know.
I had a MacBook Pro over the summer. Like the company that I was working at, they gave us MacBook Pros, and it had the touch bar. It's like kind
Yeah.
of like it looks cool, and I think if you put time into it, you can like customize it. But yeah, as
Yeah.
far as like the base features, I found it kind of annoying actually, because like I just want to up the brightness a little bit, and on a normal keyboard it takes half a second. You can shut the brightness or up the sound or whatever, and like
Yeah.
it feels like you have to like click certain things to get to certain
Yep.
things. Like there's not just a button you press.
So they bought a new one and you were using it over the summer?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And where'd that MacBook go now?
Dude, I have no idea. They took them back.
Huh. Hilarious.
But yeah, I don't know. It's funny they never like really like clarified if like we'd give it back or like what the deal was.
Hmm.
So I was like, I honestly thought we might be able to keep it, which would
Yeah.
have been
Oh,
which
that
would
would
have been
have been too
awesome.
cool.
But no, I didn't get to keep it. But I'll get one when I start working there again, which will be nice. It'll be nice because
Yeah.
my MacBook Air has been pretty slow lately.
Do you like keeping your stuff separate or do you put everything on one computer?
I used to like keeping my stuff separate, but once I started working at GCU and then now this new company, like they don't give me a laptop or anything, and so now everything's kind of combined.
Yeah.
Google Chrome has this like, and maybe you knew about this before. I didn't know about this, but they have like the different users, so it actually doesn't really interfere like with my personal stuff at all.
Yeah. No, that's an amazing feature. I love it.
Yeah.
I have I have 8 loaded up right now, and I think I have a couple
Oh
more that
my
I haven't
gosh.
logged into on this new computer. Just because of when you buy and resell stuff, you need to have a ton of different profiles. So I have a million
Okay.
different
Yep.
emails and profiles, and yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah, dude. So we talked a couple weeks ago. You were buying some used cell phones to create some more
Yeah,
profiles. Have there
yeah.
been any releases that have come out since then? And have
So
you had any luck?
so there's been none, but I have this
Dang.
one, and then there's 2 other ones. I actually bought a fourth one, but it didn't arrive until the day after I left. I don't know what to do about that.
Oh, that
But
sucks.
anyways, yeah, we haven't had any releases, so we can't update you on
Okay.
that one.
Dang, that's tough. Dude, are you mostly doing sneakers? Like, is Nike your main
Yeah.
product?
Yeah, occasionally
Okay.
I'll enter a dropped on. So Adidas has their version of sneakers, and occasionally you can go on there, but it's more of like, hey, put your information in, and you have 3 days to enter, and like anyone can enter this random lottery.
Mm,
Um, I don't know, it's not as frequent, not as profitable. I mean, it used to be Yeezys, now Yeezys are gone, right?
yeah,
So
totally.
like, what is left? I don't know. I'm sure
Yep. Yeah,
I'd
that's
love to
tough.
see I should look up the financials of Adidas. After after yeah, the year end. I'd love
Yeah,
to
that's a
see that
huge
when they come
loss.
out.
Dude, I feel like that was one of the only things they had going for them. Personally, it's funny. I had a conversation with a friend a couple days ago. I hate Adidas. Like, I don't like their stuff at all. Like, I don't think it
Really?
looks cool. It's usually pretty expensive. It feels like a value brand, but at like comparatively like Nike type prices. It just
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me. Nike, way better marketing, way better products, better like return policies. I don't really understand Adidas' stuff, but
Hmm.
they had Yeezy going for them, and now that's just gone.
Yeah, honestly, like Adidas has a lot of history. So if you're a sneakerhead, I think
Yeah.
you really appreciate Adidas and some of the stuff. Like
Mm.
one of my favorite pairs of sneakers is like the classic Adidas, like white. It's called a shell toe, from the
Okay.
80s.
Okay.
There's a lot of history there, but I agree. Like they're kind of slacking compared to Nike. I think it
Yeah.
also has to do with Adidas is based in Europe, and so I think you see them a little bit more here. While Nike
Mm.
is fully, a U.S. Well, they're global, but they're based in
Yep.
the U.S.
Totally. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
cool. I wanted to do a little bit of like, we could talk about the pod for a little bit. So I got a little bit of feedback from. So both my parents have watched a couple episodes,
Nice.
and just thoughts on like the future of what we're doing here. And I
Yes,
don't know
for
if you
sure.
saw, but our first video now has 15 views, so I was feeling
What?
pretty
Really?
proud.
That's
It's
awesome.
probably just me like clicking on it to go check
Yeah,
the
me too.
description
Yeah.
like 10 times. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we got my dad, my mom, and Jason Anzalone are listening, so that's
Yeah,
pretty
you
cool.
take that. That is
Yeah,
cool.
so some feedback was to have better descriptions and really make sure we include the links. So
Okay.
that's something that we can work on. Like that's pretty easy. Like anything we talk about, just say, hey, we're gonna mention the links, and then we'll just make a
Yep.
note. I think that's the best way. My dad said that he liked the randomness, which I thought was interesting. Like I never thought about that, but I guess that is kind of why I like my first million, and what I
Yeah,
think is so fun to talk about you. It's just like whatever we think is interesting,
for sure.
and then also, whenever we mention, if we're talking about a book, my dad said make sure you like mention it at the end, so people know what we're actually talking
Oh,
about. So,
yeah.
um,
Okay, that's a good idea.
and then last thing is just the way me and Connor are able to both see the same documents. So we use Notion, and we just have a shared Notion page. And so what we do is each week we make a new Notion document, and we kind of just put, I don't know, a phrase or a couple words about what we want to talk about, and then that kind of gives you the idea of it, and one of us will choose to talk about it, and so that's how we're able to collaborate and see the same page.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, dude, the feedback on the randomness is interesting. I feel like the common view on like podcasts and just media in general is like having like a specific niche, and I don't really feel like we have that. But
No,
maybe our niche is just what we find is interesting, and I'm sure other people will think the stuff is interesting too.
yeah, I mean, like, what do you think we talk about in the description? I've put things like we talk about business, we talk about startups, we talk about sales and psychology, and maybe a couple other random things.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
All right. Hey, let's kick it off with goals. So
goals.
yeah, one thing. First episode of the new year. Yeah, let's go through some of our. Actually, before we do that, let's go through last year. Year in review. That's a good. I think you brought that
Hmm.
up. Let's do a year in review.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll kick us off.
yeah, kick us
Um,
off.
yeah, once you mentioned this, I started looking back at the next year or at the past year. It's funny, like when you brought this up, my first initial thought was like, dang, like I feel like I didn't really do much last year.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how much I'll have to say. But
Hmm.
then like my first step to like trying to figure out what I did last year was like, well, okay, what was I doing at this time last year? So like beginning of January last year, what was I doing? And it's actually crazy how much I've done in the past year, looking back. So last year at this time, I was working for a physical therapy group at like a
Wow.
corporate office,
Yeah.
doing finance stuff, like accounting. So like I would do payroll, Like we'd create some dashboards in Excel and send them out to the sales team, send like monthly financials out to all the owners, that sort of thing. And I hated it. It was the worst.
Just like it's like admin work, right?
Oh yeah, just admin work. Like I was just an intern.
Yeah.
I kind of had like promise of like moving up to more like the analysis side. So like the guy who hired me was the CFO, and so that kind of stuff is like I think fairly interesting, like making decisions based on the work that I'm doing. But I was never really a part of those conversations. But kind of had like promise of moving up, but never really like panned at anything.
Okay.
And yeah, I was in a tough place. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And fast forward to February, we were bought out by a company based in Louisville. I didn't think it would really affect my job. In fact, I was told that it would actually give me like an opportunity to move up. And then they basically were like, oh, you're actually out of a job now. So by March, I don't have a job. I'd never applied for any internships over the next summer because I had planned to stay. And I had no clue what I wanted to do. Like I'm studying finance economics. I was working in finance or accounting and I hated it. So wanted something completely different, but had no clue where to start. And I had a friend who, she was a year ahead of me. So she had just graduated and she got a job at a tech company here, in Scottsdale called Paradox. They're like an HR technology. That's what their product is, software. And I applied blindly for like a business development role. I didn't even really know what it meant. And I really, it's funny. I think the only reason I got the job is because I didn't care about it. Like I did not want the job. And so like I went in the interview, like zero research, like had no clue what I was even applying for. I didn't even know what the product was. And I guess I must have done fine because I ended up getting the job after a few interviews. And so before I started that job, I had like a small gig with Jason Anzalone, who is just a connection I have through my dad. He is a real estate developer, kind of have some interest in the real estate industry. So, got in with him, learned a ton. And through him, honestly, probably the best thing I got out of it was I met your dad, who eventually connected with me with you. Yeah. And kind of kicked off our friendship, which has been like, so valuable. Like probably the most valuable thing that I got out of. What's that?
We're here doing this.
Yeah, we're here doing this. We're here doing this. So that's been really cool. Kind of established that friendship. I feel like from the start, like kind of like very like-minded. Definitely similar ambition, which I think is really hard to find. For kids our age.
By the way, I want to interrupt you. How do you feel about interviews? Do they make you nervous? Do you hate them? Do you think they're like a chance to kind of prove yourself? Like it's like a sales moment. So do you enjoy that or do you hate it? What side are you
on? More on the hate side. Yeah.
Hate side.
One of my flaws is I feel like I get really uncomfortable under authority, especially if like there's no like pre-meeting before they're my authority figure. I think I actually struggle in interviews if I care, like if I want the job.
Yep.
What's your side?
I get very nervous, but I'm also excited.
Okay.
Because I think I do better than most people when it comes to just like making something up on the spot that sounds pretty, reasonable. Not perfect by any stretch, but I get excited, but also super nervous.
Yep, me too. I think part of the thing that I don't like too is it always feels so like professional and so uptight, and that's just like not my personality. Like
even
I just have to shoot it.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Even the interviews where people are like, "Hey man, we're not interviewing you. We just want to get to know you and chat." It's like, nah, dude. I appreciate the try, but it takes a certain personality type to really make that work.
Totally. Yeah, like, hey man, like I just want to get to know you and like, no pressure. What's the hardest thing you've done in the past year? Or like, it's like what?
Yeah, exactly.
Became friends with you. Fast forward, worked at this tech company over the summer and like fell in love with it, fell in love with sales. And I love the company that I was at and ended up getting like a full-time job there. And I feel like, honestly, like so many things fell into place. Like, found out what I wanted to do, gained a completely new industry or completely new perspective just on the working world, like life past college and, kind of moving into adulthood. And, I honestly a year ago, I had no direction, and now I feel like I have a very clear path to where I'm headed. So it's been a good year for me.
Cool. Uh, should I run through my quick thoughts about my past year?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 year ago, I had an internship at Virtua Partners. So that was private equity real estate. I was doing kind of similar things, mostly admins kind of stuff, working with investor distributions. But one thing I've actually realized when I think back about on this is I had the potential to do a lot more. Like I was working for them for more than a year. I think I'm not always the best at making the most of my opportunities. And so I think that's something that I need to focus on, and I'm doing a much better job, especially at ARM5, my e-commerce job. But that's just, a little thought when you look back. That's why I think these kind of things are useful when you review. Um, so I started learning Polish. So I just hit 1 year Duolingo streak. So that was pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Around January too, I started setting up a legal company for my sneaker business. So I was thinking like, hey, I really want to do this, see where it goes. I was pretty stressed about high school, like looking back. I didn't like it. I didn't like studying. I didn't like learning the classes that I had, and I was worried that I wasn't gonna do well enough on the test, which I did. I ended up doing fine. And that 1 year ago, I realized I think I was actually just kind of really getting into podcasts. So that's super cool. I mean, podcasts is a huge part of my life. And we can skip forward to kind of some highlights. We talk about business stuff, so we'll focus mostly on that. Finishing up high school, lots of good memories, and then April, May, I got the job with ARM5, but I wasn't really doing anything with them until August. So also started my sales course, which is super important, at the end of May, and then August, September. Josh, my boss at ARM5, he had me start looking into businesses to buy. So before I was just doing kind of random things on the back end, but that's when it really took off. And then, rest of it's in Amsterdam. So,
Yep.
when you look back on it like this, I think when you can write a little bit about what you did each month, super, super interesting to really look back on. The one thing I wanted to say is it's also really fun if you scroll through and look at all your pictures. Like that gives you a really, really good idea of what your life was like. And I think also, I think Sean does this, or Sam, from My First Million, where they look back and they don't do New Year's resolutions, but they do ratings in different categories. And so if you have a category like adventure, for example, that's going to be something that's super apparent whether you did that or not by looking through your photos. So yeah, what do you think of my year in review?
No, I think it's good. I mean, that sounds like a great year. I like the idea of going through your photos too. I haven't done that yet, so I'll go through that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to just scroll through. One thing I wanted to bring up while we're on this topic is Maya, so my girlfriend, she actually had me, or she wanted to create a Pinterest kind of 2023 goals,
Oh, cool.
what is this? I have an account on Pinterest, but I don't really use it too much. And it was actually really, really good. And so I want to bring this up because I think it's super helpful. Anytime you have a long-term goal, if you say whatever, I want this to be my ideal life. I want this to be my, this is all the places I want to travel to. If you can visualize, if you can not just visualize in your head, but if you can actually see it, that is worth at least 100 times more than some words on a piece of paper. And so if you ever have some goal, right now, if you say, hey, this is where I want to be by the end of 2023, if you go through and make a Pinterest board of, 40 pictures, if you can pull it up, look at it once a week, once a month even, shoot, I think that's a million times more valuable than just having some goals that you're looking at. To see that and to know exactly that that's what you're going after, I think it makes all the difference.
Totally. That's a great idea. Dude, this is hilarious. My girlfriend Jada did the same thing. She just sent it to me last week. That's hilarious. That's a great idea though. I like it.
Yeah. So shout out to my
have you made one yet?
Yes, I made one for 2023 and I started making one for my ideal life kind of scenario.
Yes. Dude, that's fun. It's addicting. Pinterest.
It's fun.
Pinterest. So I use Pinterest.
They're fun to make too.
Dude, it's a blast. I love going through like little things like future house, what I want to have, but in the details. So I'll go through what faucets I like, I don't know, what silverware I want, stuff like that. It's just fun to imagine.
Seriously, and another funny thing is if you want to go to the gym in the morning and it's hard for you to be motivated, for example, if you put a Pinterest board of like a ton of ripped dudes and then you just put yourself at the end, like that is
Yeah.
hilarious. That'll motivate you so much.
That's hilarious. Did you do that?
No, I haven't done that. I actually just thought of that.
That's
That's
hilarious.
off the cuff, but yeah, I think I wanna that'll be hilarious to do that. Do you have anything else
That's
you
a
want
good
to talk
idea.
about for 2023 goals?
Um, yeah. I want to go through my goals. I want to establish them,
Yeah,
put them out loud here. So
yeah,
here's my fairly basic goals. One, couple skills to develop, sales and copywriting. Yeah, sales is obvious. Just help progress in my career, and not even just career, but just like it's just a useful skill to have. Copywriting ties right into sales. Like how can I convince people to buy products? Second, this is probably like top of my list, like a daily routine. Like I've never had like a solid, like very intentional daily routine. And so I've kind of started that this year. I think I
yeah,
told you, so I have narcolepsy. I think you know that. And so it affects my life quite a bit. I'm always pretty tired. And like my energy levels are very low.
yeah,
And so one remedy I've been trying is like this cold exposure
yeah.
technique, which I think is kind of blown up right now. And dude, it's been so helpful. Like I haven't taken, I think I've taken a couple naps this year so far, but other than
Yeah.
like 2 days I've taken naps, like no naps, my energy levels have been high throughout really the
Hmm.
entire day. So that's been
Nice.
huge, along with like sunlight. Like a lot of times I think in college, especially here, like it's so easy to stay in my room all day and never go outside. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've been going on walks and just like literally like facing the sun. And yeah, I've noticed a huge difference.
Good, good. I'm really happy to hear that. Did I ever tell you the funny book I read when I was younger about this kid with narcolepsy and he had like a little gerbil or something that he kept in his shirt? Did I ever tell you about this?
I don't think so, no.
One of my favorite series. I don't know the name of the series, but if you want to look it up, the one of the names of the book was Zoo Break. It's this kid. He I don't know, probably like a young teenager. You know, I was reading this when I was like I don't know 8 or 9 or something. But they're really entertaining. They were about things like, oh, he found this baseball card and some guy told him it was a fake and bought it for him for like $2. And then goes on TV the next day and he's like, hey, this actually worth $500,000. And so like he gets all his friends together and he's like, all right, guys, we're gonna break into this guy's house and we're gonna, and does things like, in like appropriate for whatever a 10-year
Yeah,
old. So,
yeah.
anyways, yeah, I always think of that because that was the first time I'd ever heard of narcolepsy.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I just looked up the cover. Dude, it says
Yeah,
a
Swindle.
swindle
That's what
mystery.
it is. Yeah,
Dude, wow, yeah, that is that's a deep lodged memory right there. Like, I've for sure seen this book. I've never read it, but it is like that's a deep memory. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
All right, do
Cool.
you have any?
Keep going.
Okay, so yeah, I have a couple more. I'm putting a number on it. 5,000 MRR, just like money outside my job.
Okay.
So, and there's no constraints. It can be anything. So if better reviews, like our restaurant business takes off, then like great, that can be it. If it's like flipping stuff on the side, then that's great. It literally doesn't matter. It can be anything. Just by the end of 2023, I want to have at least 1 month, or like December 2023, I want to have 5,000 a month coming in
Yeah,
outside of my job.
yeah,
And then last thing, like networking. I haven't been super good at networking. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of tough for me to network, and so yeah, I'm gonna push myself out of my comfort zone this year and start networking.
that's
And
one of mine for January and for 2023 as well. By the way.
is it? Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
good.
yeah. I have something more to add on to that in a moment, but keep going.
Cool. No, that's it. I was just gonna say, kicking off the year good. Eric and I, who we'll talk about later, bought those tickets to go to the Easy Entrepreneurs event.
All right, you got Eric too?
Yeah, Eric's in.
Cool, 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 cool. Let's actually talk about Eric now. I want to talk about him now, and then I have something to say about the about Arizona entrepreneurs. So I'll make a little note here in our Notion page, because I talked to the dude a couple days ago. So let's talk about Eric. I know we talked about him a little bit, but I wanted to just kind of summarize it on here on the pod, and what our experience was like. So kind of give the 4-sentence intro on him. So
Okay.
give us the 4-sentence intro on Eric.
Okay. I know Eric from high school. Camden, you went to high school with him too. At the end of his high school, so his senior year, started a TikTok page. This was at like the beginning of TikTok, like first days of TikTok. Had a video go viral of him rapping his dad's Porsche and Peppa the Pig, and Peppa the Pig. That was it. Went viral and kind of took off from there. So yeah, viral on TikTok, has like 1.6 million followers. Has a good presence on other social media like Snapchat as well. And yeah, that's kind of the intro on him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I wanted to call out a couple things.
Okay.
First is just his hustle. So he spotted an opportunity. I'll mention in a second, and he grinded. He was posting.
Yep.
So this was during COVID when he was in college. So he's now in his sophomore year. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
No,
So he's
junior.
Junior. He's in his junior year
Yep.
right now. Anyways, and he's at ASU. But he spotted an opportunity COVID year on Snapchat. You know, Snapchat was just spinning up not stories, but they have some other feature. It's like shows or something. And he was literally posting every 5 minutes. He was making enough content to post every 5 minutes, and these are short clips, but still, like the amount of dedication that takes, I think that speaks to his character, and I just want to give him a shout out for that. The other cool thing that I thought is throughout posting all of that, he actually made a ton of money. I don't know, I'm not going to share what he made, but he made a considerable amount of money. It's basically like, hey, Snapchat was like, hey, we want to attract creators. We're paying out 1 million to the top performing videos, split up, whatever. And so if you have a top performing video over those 24 hours, then you're making money. That was super cool. I also really liked how he was saying that he's outgrown his friends. What I want to talk to him more about, if we could get him on the pod, is how to make things go viral. Like, I think we need a deep dive on that and kind of understand that better. The other cool thing that he talked about that we're going to probably do is, so he has a VA in the Philippines who edits his TikToks. I think his TikToks for $15 a video, which is super cheap. And he said, we could probably get someone to do basic editing. I mean, Connor, right? Like around $10.
Yep.
For us. So if it takes me well over an hour to do the thumbnail and editing and uploading and everything. Yep. So if I can make $15, whatever, then that's obviously going to be a win if we're splitting it.
For sure worth it. Yep.
Okay. Do you have any other thoughts? I can maybe add on one more thing, but do you have anything?
Yeah. Back on his like grind, like mentality.
Yeah.
Some people kind of say, like, some people kind of talk the talk. Eric, literally, we were like, dude, like, you got to show us the video that went viral. He's like, okay, I'll show you. So he pulls up his Snapchat, and he's got like all of his videos from that COVID timeline.
So many.
And dude, he's like scrolling for like 2 minutes straight, just looking for a video that went viral. And he's got literally hundreds of videos that have like under 1,000 views. Like, did no success, and he just grinded. And I think that not even just then, but now that shows he just goes for it. Like, he just takes action. And I think one thing that I kind of noticed, like, meeting with somebody like Eric, who is like young and successful and has done well on TikTok, just on content creation in general, you kind of think, oh, maybe he must have something special about him. Yeah. Which, this is not a shot at Eric at all. Eric doesn't have anything special about him. Like, he's a normal dude, but he just takes action, and it shows. Like, he's telling us he'll have somebody reach out on social media that's like, oh, hey, I have this cool house in Houston. You should make a video on it. And he's like, okay, cool, book my flights, let's do it. And we'll fly out there for a day.
Millionaire, by the way, who reached out,
Yeah. And so, he's a beast, he takes action, and he's a hustler.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I wanted to say, and again, this is one thing I noticed, is Eric is not great at talking. And again, I have so much respect for the guy. He's does amazing things, and he's a great person, but he was not the smoothest. Like, he's not the smoothest kind of like confident dude that's gonna, like, I don't know, make you swoon, or I don't know what the word is, but he's still able to be do very well on social media. And so that was kind of a surprise for me. I'd always thought, like, oh, these people, they're all about, they can talk whatever talk, they can sell you anything, but no, like, Eric's just a cool guy, and he figured out a way to make cool content. The other thing I wanted to kind of push back on, like, his bias towards action. So I think he absolutely did, like, he found something and he just dedicated himself to it. But one thing we kind of talked about that's a little bit contrary to his bias towards action is this app that he's planning. So, I mean, you saw this post back in November, December, and it was like, hey, I want to create this app. He has this cool idea, and he mentioned he's a little bit worried about someone else stealing, or creating it. He's surprised nothing like this exists, but he hasn't done any work on it. Like he had
Yeah.
this post
Yeah.
looking to employ some people, and he hasn't hired anyone yet. And
Yeah.
so, I wish I'd mentioned this more to him. Like, dude, like I want to get on him for this. Like, Eric, dude, from what he's told us about it, it sounds like a killer idea. Why
Yeah.
are you waiting? I wish I had
Yeah.
pushed back more on him for this.
Yeah, no, we will. We'll bring him on the pod. I think
Okay.
we'll give him some more thoughts. I think just so everybody knows here, we met Eric once. So we met up for dinner,
Yep.
and basically, I feel like we just kind of hounded him with questions. Like,
Yeah.
and that was the extent of our conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, there'll be more to come on that. But yeah, he's got to put a time frame on it. There's no time frame. It's just like yeah, I hope to have it done this year.
Yep.
It's like no.
Yeah. The other thing that I want to kind of nag at him about is he didn't have any long-term plan. I said, hey, Eric, what does the future look like for you? And he's like giving us stuff about this year, and it was pretty vague. And I was like, dude, come on, man. Like you got all this stuff going for you. You got whatever investments that you're already making, that a 30-year-old would be lucky to have. And
Yep.
you don't have any long-term plan, man? Come on. Like you're killing me here.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get on him for that too.
Yeah, I think to be fair on that note, like dude, as a content creator, even his story over the past year and a half has dramatically shifted.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think he probably has an idea of what he wants his future to look like. But as
Yeah.
far as like what he's going to be doing, like content creation, it's just you just got to follow the wave. And so I don't think it's the worst mindset.
Yeah.
Just follow the wave, do what's working, and you'll see what comes next.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think we've talked about him a solid amount. So I wanted to go into this opportunity. No, let's talk about Arizona entrepreneurs. So talked with
Cool.
Devin, super cool dude. He moved to Arizona, realized there wasn't, a good networking place that people can really like chill. And the thing that he kind of says is all the networking events he went to kind of felt transactional, and he wanted to create something where it's more about, relationships. And so he's done that. He's been super successful so far, but he's moving into his next phase. So Arizona Entrepreneurs is the name. We'll put the link for that. But he's creating a new thing called like Inner Circle, and so it's all about it's gonna higher price tag, and it's gonna be about weekly things that are gonna provide value, and it's gonna be connecting you to valuable people, but networking, right? And so I asked him for some advice on, hey, kind of the idea is back when I knew I was coming to Amsterdam for the first time, I went on these pages. All the college kids, they have these pages, and they'll all post like an introduction to themselves.
Yep.
I found all the kids that are in the same major, like business kind of area, and I messaged a ton of them, like hundreds of them, and ended up with about 30 that I thought were pretty interesting and maybe interested in entrepreneurship in general. Put them in a group chat and thought, hey, let the magic start. And 2 months later, there's crickets, and so I was really
Yep.
disappointed in that. I spent a lot of time, but I think it's a good lesson that I learned. But basically, I talked to him about that, and he said, hey, just go to a ton of networking events. If there's still really nothing that you're looking for, like, start something up yourself. So I grabbed the Amsterdam Entrepreneurs Instagram link yesterday,
Nice.
Instagram tag. And then he also said, he's like, hey, I'm more than happy to help you out, like, walk you through the steps of doing it, basically. And he also said he'd be even willing to partner up. So that's super exciting. Like, he wants to travel and go to Europe. So I think that's a huge opportunity, really. Like, if I go to some more events and there really is nothing like this, like, this is a moneymaker, man. Like, it's
Yep.
it's killer work for the first maybe 6 months, but once you get going, I mean, there's tons of opportunities with sponsorships and all this kind of stuff.
Yep, I completely agree. What's your guess? What do you think he makes?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I think he's keeping a lot of it in the business for now. So,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be surprised if in a year from now he's over, I don't know, 300, 400K probably that he could take and put in his pocket. Again, I
Yeah,
have no
I-
inside information, so I'm just making a guess.
Yeah, I think so too. I think one, like, to go to this event, it's $50 a person, which doesn't sound like a ton, but I think like you've been. I think some of the bigger events, there's maybe hundreds of people that go.
Yeah, usually
right?
it's like 250 people, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's a lot of money right there. Covers the overhead and more.
Yeah.
And then I think you've got the opportunity for recruiting. Like, well, I take that back. Not for
There's
recruiting.
there's a million opportunities, but the way he's trying to monetize
yeah.
it is like create this inner circle group and sell sponsorships and provide value, man.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunity. So yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any plans to meet up with him again?
Yeah, so what I actually wanted to mention is he needs some salespeople for this inner circle group. So it's a high enough thing that you need someone on the phone. You need like a setter and a closer. And I was like, dude, setter and
Oh,
closer, like not many people know that outside of sales. But I took the sales course. Like that's exactly like literally what you're talking about is exactly what I've been trained to do. Like
yeah.
online, virtual, high ticket sales, setter and closer, whatever. And I was like, dude, I got a lot of stuff going on, but in a week or whatever, reach out to me and we'll talk. And I say, hey, it's gonna be part time, obviously. I'm not gonna work past 1 Arizona time. That's 9 my time. Um, but even if not, like, I like you. I appreciate what you've done for me because he helped me get this e-commerce job through one of his events. So he didn't
Oh,
have
that's
to
cool.
use
I didn't know
right?
that.
So,
Yeah.
um, and I was like, hey, if you want me to like look at any scripts or anything, so I think we're gonna be talking soon. But I wanted to let you know as well because you're gonna be going next week
Yep.
to see him, and probably don't give him like a ton of information. What I told you, just be like, hey, Camden said you're looking for salespeople, and I don't know sales. If you're interested, I don't know. I know
Yeah.
it seems like you've had a ton of opportunities kind of fall in your lap over the past month. But
Yep.
what maybe kind of give me the update on where you're at with your job right now.
All right, I'll give you a quick update. First, yes, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I'll look for him. It sounds like it's gonna be a big event, so hopefully I get some time with him.
He's usually at the door greeting. Otherwise,
Oh, cool.
you'll see him. He's bald,
Yeah,
so he's pretty easy to recognize.
cool. So yeah, update. I gave you a little update. We haven't talked about it much.
Yep.
Dude, I'm hating my job. Like it's brutal. So background for people who don't know, I got a job at my university. The job title was business development, and so I just thought like, oh, that'd be cool. Like I thought it'd be like calling alumni, like asking for donations, or like
Yeah.
calling companies to see if maybe they'd want to sponsor events and stuff like that.
Right.
Just basically just want to experience on the phones. That was the entire purpose.
Yep.
Fast forward, no cold calling involved, like really no outreach either. Like maybe some like cold emails, but like it was pretty bad.
Yep.
So I quit. I quit because I had something else lined up. Software startup here in Phoenix, kind of operating in the commercial real estate space. Joined up. I had a couple buddies who worked there. They've been trying to get me to join for the past like 6 months. So like since the summer, I've been meeting with them. They offered me a job then. Said no. But eventually, once I was in this like role that I hated, I was like, okay, I'll like whatever, I'll join. Yeah, I'm in. They had like totally hyped up the product, hyped up the company, dude. Straight up, it's terrible. It's awful. Like, it's awful. The product product is basically this. If you're a commercial broker, you have deals in your pipeline. Our product helps you manage your deals in your pipeline. So you enter like a few like data points, like on your your whatever your current pipeline. So current deal. So one deal, enter like 5 to 7 data points. Based on those data points, we'll spit out some data for you based on where are all your deals being sourced from, like what's your expected commission for the year, like what's the expected close date, yada yada yada. Very, very, and that's literally it. That's all our tool does, and
Yeah.
dude, it's just like very easily replaceable. Like Excel does the same thing and more, and is way better and is free. Our product is $29 a month, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's over $400 a year. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of money. Yep. And we're talking to commercial brokers who all of them already have their processes in place. And so it's a really tough sell.
What feedback have you gotten on when you're talking to people?
Well, people are like usually a couple things. One, they have like a massive CRM built out, like Salesforce, where they paid somebody to come in and build out all these like very intense dashboards. And they're like, yeah, we have a very intense dashboard that is very helpful to us, and we paid a lot of money for it. So, like, I have no like. I'm like, okay, yeah, like you're right, like not the best fit. So there's kind of one. Two is I'll talk to like an old retired dude or like older guy who's like, hey man, like I'm traditional, like I'm pen and paper, like this has worked forever. Like all my deals are by referral, and like I'm heading into retirement soon. Like never gonna change. Also, totally fair. Like, yeah, man, I agree. Like you're so successful and what you have works. Why would you change?
Yep.
And then the last thing is they're like, hey, like, yeah, we use Excel. we've got this whole template spreadsheet built out that we built out over time. Like, it took forever to build out, and it works great for us. It's like, so yeah, why would you pay for something that you already have? Doesn't really make any sense. So yeah, it's a really tough sell. Honestly, the founder is kind of a dick.
Yeah.
He's like, total narcissist. Killed it himself in the commercial real estate industry. Like, he's a grinder. Like, I think he's still working like 70, 80-hour weeks.
Wow.
And he's in his 60s.
Wow.
Which, to be honest, I don't really have much respect for. Like, I think it's awesome that you hustle and grind, but if you're 65 and still working 80-hour weeks, it's like, I don't think our life goals align.
He's got like...
He literally...
Yeah. Good.
Dude, he literally had like a grandchild born like a few days ago, and I expected he wouldn't be in the office. Like, his grandchild was born in San Diego, okay? He's in the office next day, like when I get in, and I was like, hey, like, did your daughter have the baby? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, are you going to go see the baby? He's like, nah, man, gotta work. It's like, my wife, but his wife went to go see the baby. So he's just like, it's just strange. So it's been really frustrating. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. So I'm actually hoping, hoping for a new opportunity soon.
Mm-hmm. All right. So looking for a new opportunity. Talk to Devin. Just say, hey, Camden mentioned sales. I'm had some experience in sales. Whatever. I vouch for you, so I think he'll take that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on.
So anyways, that's super cool. 2 opportunities with Devin. When you're a man who connects people like that, I mean, the amount of value that you give people is absolutely insane, right? Like,
totally.
The old cliche saying of your network is your net worth, right? So, like, the amount of things I've got my e-commerce job through him. I met a ton of other cool people. This opportunity, he's willing to help me set up a community, which again is gonna be killer. So super cool. But I want to go into the next thing. My people in Arm 5 Formula actually sent this. So COO dude sent this over, said watch this video. And have you ever heard of Clickbank?
No.
Okay. So Google it. And what you're gonna see is some sort of affiliate networking site. And so affiliate marketing. I'm sorry. And so what it basically is
yes.
You go on here, and if you have a website that does blogs or whatever, then this is how you get connected with people who the companies who actually pay you. So there's other sites like this. I guess this is a pretty popular one. And actually, what is super cool is they make videos on YouTube that do things like, hey, these are our top 10 affiliate listings, and pretty not surprising. I think most of them are supplements, and so what they do is I think they pay you. To be honest, I'm not totally sure, and I probably should have researched this before coming on here and talking about it. But this was just today. They pay you based on the amount of clicks that. So if you have a blog, you post the link, you get 1 click. They're going to pay you however much. So the top offers this year were around $1.60 per click, and the top one. Per click? Yeah. So per click that you get, $1.60. So 1,000 people click that link. That's cha-ching. And then they also pay you based on purchases. I think they have this number. They have this number called average payout. And to be honest, I don't know what it means, but I guess the average one is somewhere around like 200, 250 for the good ones. Anyways, do you have any idea what the top product, what the top affiliate link is right now that is paying you out the most? It's not a supplement. It's something completely unrelated. Do you have any guesses?
Nope.
Okay. It's this product called Trump Books. So look up Diamond Trump Books. And I think if it brings you to the site, which it should, I'm actually gonna look it up myself so I can describe it better. Tell me what you see. Okay. This is not what I was looking for. Let's look up Trump Bucks.
Like Trump? Like Donald Trump?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm not able to find the I'm not able to find the listing. All right, we're gonna cut this section out. We gotta find this because it's important.
Okay. What am I looking for here?
Like a kind of scammy looking site that sells fake looking dollar bills with Donald Trump's face on it. I'm going to try to find the Clickbank's post. Okay. All right, I found it. All right, I'll send it in the chat. Give me one sec. Okay. Here, I found it.
Oh, is
it?
it
Has a completely
Patriots
unrelated
Future?
name. Yep.
Is that what it is?
Patriots Future. Okay, so.
Okay.
All right, so you open the link and describe to me what you see.
Hang on, I'm sorry. I can't get it open. Did you send it in the chat?
No, I can't.
There's a link here, but it's like a broken link.
Oh, good. Did you get it?
Okay, sweet. Yep.
Okay, so open up this link and tell me what you see.
Okay, I'm looking at a $10,000 black dollar bill with Donald Trump's face on it.
And how much are you going to have to pay for it?
Oh, wow. It looks like for 10 of them, you're looking at $10 each.
$10 each, right?
Yeah, so $100 for 10 of them.
Yep.
Wow, that's insane.
What do you think of it? If you keep scrolling down, what you're going to see is this like exclusive looking packaging. It's $500 for like a one of one. And so
my gosh.
I want to stop and talk about this product for a moment. I think this is a genius product. First, he's on the news. Might be dying down now, but whatever. 6 months ago, even now still, this is huge, right? Like he has a ton of diehard fans who absolutely would love to have this one-of-one collectible thing that has Trump's name on it. It looks like a dollar bill and is all fancy, shiny and all this kind of stuff. Cool packaging.
Wow.
And so I think you're going to get a ton of people who are really diehard fans of him. They're going to buy it, and you're also going to get a bunch of people who hate Trump, who are getting it for their friends, who hate Trump even more, who think it'll be hilarious to give this to their friends. And you know what's even cooler is you can get 10 of these, and there you go, 10 gifts for your friends, only $10 each, and it's going to make them laugh. It's like a memorable gift.
Wow.
So I think this is a great product. I think the website is pretty crappy, and I don't know why it's not better, because I think that would help the conversions. Maybe they just know their demographic, and this is what their demographic wants to see.
Yeah, seriously.
I think that's totally a chance. But for this one, you're not going to believe this. The amount that you're making, if you're affiliate marketing this, $9 per click, and the average payout, the average payout, which by the way, again, I don't know exactly what it is. And before the average, I don't know, the top other offers were around 200, 250. Average payout for this is like 360. So you can make a ton of money if you literally all you have to do is have a huge email list that you can send to, or you can just create Facebook ads. So if you have something like No Limit Creative, which I'll link to them here. No Limit Creative is basically a place where you pay $500 a month, and you get you send them unlimited requests to make you ads. So creative is the pictures that you post when you're running ads for e-commerce or whatever else. And so if you literally have this, you write up some copy, have ChatGPT write you some copy, buy No Limits Creative, and boom, there you go. I don't know, use Midjourney to make you some creatives if you want. Post on Facebook and target the right demographics, and there you go, you're golden. I mean, all it takes is one click, and you're getting $9. So that's let's do some math. 50 clicks, and you've made back your cost your No Limit Creative. Just crazy.
I'll be doing this afternoon. This is money.
Really?
This is on my to-do list for today. Yeah, that's sick. I'm serious.
I'll send you the video, or I don't know if you have the. I'll put the link here. Top offers. So this guy kind of explains what kind of stuff you need to be doing. So this is in your to-do. I just posted it there. I'm going to post it in the description as well. Honestly,
dude, I think.
Yeah, go for it.
Facebook groups, like not even Facebook ads, just Facebook groups.
Yep.
Like, dude, money. Like that's where the real psychos are. Like, you want to find a place that takes sides. Like Facebook groups are the place to be. People lose it on there. So dude, I'm sure there's thousands of Trump groups. Make a few posts, and I'll at least get some clicks. This will be good copywriting practice too. Like, how can I get people to click my link?
Mm-hmm. By the way,
awesome.
just a couple notes. You need to look at the term. So sometimes they have specific things that you can't advertise. So they might say, hey, you can't advertise for our keyword on Google. So because that's going to steal market share from themselves.
Sure.
And then the other thing is this just kind of unlocked to me like this whole idea of affiliate marketing. Like I'd always kind of known
Yep.
it was a thing, but
Yep.
literally just as an idea, any single time you look up like blank product versus blank product, and there's like a comparison or what is the best blank, those are all affiliate links, every single one of them.
Yeah.
And so I
Yep.
think it's important to always keep that in mind. Again, the true, like affiliate marketers, they're only gonna post products that they actually believe in, or they're gonna give an honest review and still post the link. And so there are the honest people out there, but a majority of them just want to make money. So if they can
For
get you to
sure.
click the highest paying one, they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's something that I hadn't really thought about. I always kind of thought like, some of these do it, but no, every single one does it. There's no reason for them to do it unless they're getting paid by
Yep.
these companies. So just kind of a thought. And then I really unlocked, like I was watching this video like basic guide to Clickbanks and how it works and what kind of stuff you need to do. There's a really good one, has millions of views on YouTube. Shouldn't be hard to find if you want to look it up.
Okay. Yep.
And he was basically just
Um,
saying all these things you mentioned: email marketing, Facebook groups. He said, some of his friends make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I was like, dude, yeah, I can understand why. I think literally this is something that you can learn in probably 3 months and mess up a couple
oh
times,
yeah.
and
Yep.
you don't need any capital. You don't need any
Yep.
capital for this. This isn't absolutely. I think it's something that's still available for people to go and do. So
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, here's prediction 2023. This is the new drop shipping. It's funny. I actually saw a video on, I don't know, Twitter or something of someone doing this last night, and I was like, oh, dang, that's sick. I think they were literally using ClickBanks. So yeah, prediction for 2023. This is gonna be the new drop shipping, and like
Yep.
every high school and college kid who's like entrepreneurial is gonna be doing this. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
I think I disagree with you in that I think this has already been around for a while.
Okay.
And so, like, I know a lot of people who have already like made their money from it and moved on, etc. But I could agree with you in that maybe it gets overhyped and like everyone and
Yep.
their mother starts doing it. I
Yep.
think it's a little bit more difficult than drop shipping. Drop shipping is like super simple idea. Like, click this link, paste it here, get the connection, and boom, there you go.
Yeah.
But I think there is potential. I think one thing is it's not used up. So I think drop shipping was used up, and what happened was everyone realized it was used up, and they started teaching courses on it. And so
Yep.
that's where you started seeing all these ads for it, and then all these people buy the ads, and it becomes even more used up. So I think this is at a
Sure.
point where there's still money to be made, and so I don't think
Yep.
there absolutely are courses for it, but I think not to the extent that where drop shipping was. So just a thought.
Cool. No. Yep. Love it.
Okay.
Okay, I've got an interesting one.
Yep. Talk to me.
So I met with a guy from our church that my dad knows. His name is Larry. Larry has had like a super awesome career. First of all, like to give you an idea of what he's like, Larry is just the nicest guy. Like, kind of met me out of nowhere. I was kind of asking like what he's involved in, and like super involved in like a lot of philanthropy work, like specifically like literally working with the government to like implement better systems for foster care kids. So like I think he sponsors a bunch of kids at Grand Canyon, like 25 kids to come to school here. All like works with Doug Ducey, like super cool guy. So
Nice.
and anyways, so his past was buying and selling businesses. So he started as an engineer, kind of worked his way up, and then was like, why don't I start my own thing? Ended up joining like a VC kind of thing where they would buy and sell businesses, and he would run the businesses. And then got to the point where he was like one of the partners and would just buy business and then go and find somebody to run that business for him.
But by the way,
Okay.
isn't that more of like a private equity model than VC?
Yes. Private equity, not VC. Private equity. Yeah, you're right. And so when I was talking to him, I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Like when you're hiring these like executives, people to run your company, like what are the traits you look for? And he was like, I'll send you a
question.
list. And
Wow, he has a list.
yeah, he was
Nice
like,
question.
oh, I love, whatever. He's pumped. He was excited about it. He said he and his partners like gotten together and like spent, I don't want to say how much time. I don't know how much time.
Wow.
Really diving into like what they look for and like analyzing it, and had come up with a list together of the things that they look for in an executive. So I'm gonna go through them real quick.
Yeah, pull
Here's
out,
the
pull out
list.
the ones that you think are the most important.
Okay, I'll pull the ones I think are most important, and I'll pull a couple that stood out to me that were maybe a bit surprising. Integrity, which I think is like awesome. Like I think a lot of times that kind of goes. That's maybe against trend. financially savvy, deals with change, can act without every little
What does
detail,
that one mean?
deals with change,
Yeah.
can pivot quickly. So like something pops up, like no problem, can pivot quickly. Can act without every little detail.
Okay.
Common sense, like common street sense. Yeah, I think those are some of the best ones.
Okay.
Interesting ones. One that specifically stood out to me, like politically savvy. I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Excellent presentation
wait,
skills.
I want to pause on that one for a moment. I think that's
Okay.
actually that's a good one to note because there's some CEOs who have been known, I don't know, over the last year that have been CEOs of tech startups in whatever, California or somewhere in the US, and they've been saying stupid things on Twitter, and they've gotten themselves in a lot of trouble. I think some companies have been shut down because of it, and people have been fired for sure. So yeah, absolutely, that's important.
Totally. So yeah, that was interesting. I sent him an email back asking about that one, and he sent like a whole excerpt on why he feels
Wow.
like, yeah, that's a big deal. And so he literally was like, "Let's meet again. Let's talk about that." So I'm excited to hear more about that. Yeah, I think this list is really cool. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Like one, thinking of like who you want to hire like in the future. But then even more importantly, like analyzing, like trying to figure out like who you want to be as a professional. And I think this is a really good baseline of like, hey, these are key qualities that successful people look for. And so like, I want to strive to develop these qualities.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. Like to think about, hey, I need to make this. That actually goes into something else I kind of wanted to talk about. If you're good to move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so go to the one that says Millionaire Mindset. So I didn't fully finish this one, but this is kind of the thing where I think everyone's heard like, if you want to be a millionaire, you got to think like a millionaire first, right? Like that kind of stuff. You've heard that before?
Yep.
Okay. So it's basically like, you have to be thinking the right way. Like you can't blow all your money. Like millionaires don't think like that. Like that's supposed to be the idea. So basically when people say that, kind of the idea that I get is like, okay, if I'm supposed to think like a millionaire, this is what I would kind of, what comes to the front of my mind. So time, no wasted time, like high value activities, like all this kind of stuff. I was curious if you thought millionaires are people who try to squeeze every last drop of value out of something, or if they just focus on like time, like move on, just make money and don't worry about wasting things. Like what is your thought on that actually?
I think the second option.
Second option?
Yeah.
Time. Okay. Cool. Yeah, because I feel like I focus too much on like squeezing like the last thing of toothpaste out of the toothpaste bin. I spend a minute doing that, and then I don't know, like things like that, like
being resourceful. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna wash some dishes so that I don't have to do the dishwasher today, and it's gonna take me 20 minutes. Like little things like that. Like
no, I think so. Quick on
that.
Yeah. Just give up. And I think I was reading through like Naval Ravikant, like his kind of list of like principles, and one of his is basically the framework is like time is your most valuable asset. So like don't spend time, like spend as little time on things as possible. Like delegate everything you can. So yeah, why would you spend time squeezing an ounce of toothpaste that is literally the value there is like maybe a penny,
Yeah. By the way, I want to say something else on that. Like delegate as much as possible. I'd always thought that was something like I don't have enough money to do that. Like how am I supposed to do that? But guys, literally, you can pay someone in the Philippines $3 an hour, and if something takes you 1 hour, you can work for 1 hour, and I don't know, minimum wage is, let's just say you make $15 an hour, whatever, $10 an hour, doesn't matter. You just made $7 right there by having someone else do it, and it might take some time to set up. But the other thing is like you're gonna be way happier if you're not doing those little things that you like don't want to do. I think that's the idea behind it. Yeah, absolutely. So no, like don't think that you can't do it. Alex Hormozy said something like he doesn't cook, like he always ate out, and he was like from the time he recommended like from the time you make $15 or more, like just go out and get food. Like it'll save you the time. It doesn't matter. A meal is less than $15, and so you can go and make that back. If that's really something that like you're that close to the line where you.
Wow.
Need
I love that.
So kind of a thought. I've been thinking more about that because I don't enjoy making food. I think sometimes it can be fun,
Yep.
but I really do hate like the decision part where I have to figure out what to make. Um,
Yep.
anyways,
I do too. Dude,
yeah,
peace on that. Yes, I feel the same way, and I've thought about that before. So this summer, like when I was working at at Paradox, like we had a short lunch break. Everyone packed their own lunch, and I never packed my own lunch once. I was like, no, I don't want to pack my own lunch. One, I don't want to go spend money on groceries, and two, yeah, it's gonna take me like 30 minutes to like make this lunch that's like it's gonna not gonna be very good. And so literally, I'm not kidding. Every day this summer, every single day, I went to Chipotle and I got a kids meal. And the kids meal is it was like $5.71, and it was well worth it. It was awesome. And not only was it $5.71, I would get like tacos, a side, and a drink. And I built up points over time so that I would literally get free meals. So yeah, and I was like, wow, everyone thought I was crazy. I think people kind of like joked around with me.
yeah,
And I felt like I was being way more efficient with my time.
yeah, no, yeah, seriously, like I love Chipotle. You can get a chicken bowl or a chicken burrito for like $9.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. You know, the amount of between the money you would spend on groceries, even if it's only $3, that's $6. Is your time worth $6? I don't know. Like, some people can just throw together a sandwich, but like someone like me, I like to eat more, and
Yep.
I can't have a sandwich. Like, I have restrictions on what I can eat, and so it's going to take me time to,
Yep.
to prep stuff.
Yep.
Anyways, so I think it's totally worth it. It's honestly probably worth it for dinner too, in many cases.
I think so
But
too.
the other thing I thought of is I'm reviewing a company right now, and I'm looking at their financials, and this dude spent like, I don't know, $10,000 over the course of the last year on food, and I was like, geez, dude.
Wow.
So it does add up. I'll give you that, but I think
Yep.
you can do it multiple ways. This guy was spending whatever $20 on lunch, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
thoughts.
Dude, yeah. Find your spot. There's deals everywhere. Like we could last piece on this. There's deals everywhere. Every day of the week, somewhere has a special. Find out what restaurants have a special a certain day a week, and like just make a routine. Go to a different restaurant every day.
Yeah.
Fairly simple.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, I want to go on to something else. So, RM5 opportunities, kind of like, so I talked about like the potential things that I could do with Devin, and I think I'm considering that because it's sales and it's also networking, which is something I need to be better at. So, anyways, I haven't worked for One Lead over the past 3 weeks, I'd say, because I was on holidays and they just had a baby actually. So, congratulations to them. But probably next week I'll be joining them again. Anyways, R5 opportunities. So since August I've been purchasing agent. So I've been looking for businesses we can buy. So now Josh is saying, hey, I want to start upgrading your roles. I want to have you start drafting LOIs. So this is super huge. It's something I've been waiting for a long time. So I'm actually kind of doing like the full thing, and then Josh is just going and I mean at this point he's doing very little. He's reviewing the offer that I create. So when I say LOI, it's a letter of intent. It means offer. It's like it shows the business, hey, this is what we want to do, and then if they sign it, that's basically saying, hey, we're not going to talk to anyone else. It's not super formal and legal, but it's just an idea of like, hey, we do want to do a deal with you, and we agree to these terms, and if you get funding or if due diligence is good, then we're going to do it. So drafting them, that's been a huge step. It's super fun to think creatively about like there's a million different ways you can structure a deal, and so that's been really fun. And so then at this point, Josh is just really like reviewing the deal and then kind of presenting it to the seller. And so that's super cool. But he wants to get me involved in sales in terms of getting investors into the company. And I said,
wow.
He mentioned that. So that was something that he had like this list of like stuff he wants to get in January. And I was like, hey man, I'm interested in sales. And honestly, he didn't even ask me a ton about my opportunity about my experience. It was just super funny, like how I guess he just knows me and he knows that I can do a good job. But basically my job would be, so he actually wants to get me like started as soon as next week, which I'm just like, whoa, dude. So I understand the company, but I think I need to dive in a little bit deeper on the content, more of what I'm selling. But basically it's like jumping on a call with an investor who, in most cases, this investor has been aware of us for a while. This isn't like a split second purchase that you make on whatever, some dropshipping site. This is something that's premeditated, and so you're just kind of talking them through the opportunity. If I think you get the idea. So as soon as next week, I could be getting on that, and so I'm pretty excited for that.
Dude, that's huge. Like I think just like talking to investors and like understanding like what that profile looks like how that conversation goes, like I think many investors have a pretty specific type of personality and work a certain way.
Yeah.
So I think like learning the lingo, like learning how they operate and learning how to like mirror that is going to be huge. Like that's awesome. What an opportunity. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you share too? Why don't you share, just for people listening, why don't you share like deal sizes? So like currently when you're looking at buying a company, like what's the dollar amount? How many are you doing a month? And like what does that look like?
Yep. So it's kind of anywhere between 300,000 to 2 million, but in November we kind of stretched that number because we had a new partner come on. We're still trying to close this deal, so we're not putting any new deals through him, but basically this new partner could potentially increase the deal size. So we have one pending
That's
from
awesome.
November that is $6 million. So it's a anime subscription box.
Wow.
And
Okay. 6 million?
yeah, $6 million.
Wow.
Yep. So pretty sizable opportunity. Huge market. But that's
Huge
on the
market.
upside or on the higher side. Typical deals are going to be maybe like around $1 million. I'd say is a good price point for what we can take on and handle. And what was the other thing you said? So deal size and
Frequency.
frequency. Yeah. So the goal really is to be sending out 2 to 4 LOIs a month, and we want to be closing on all of the LOIs. So that's that's quite a lot. But because of these delays, we've had 3 companies that have been pending since like November. We didn't do that in January, but anyways, we're trying to get a couple more. Like again, I drafted up 1 LOI this week. I'm supposed to draft up 2 tomorrow. So, like 2 to 4 acquisitions a month.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, cool. You want to talk about you got 2 more things? Oh no, you got 1 more thing, and we'll leave the rest of this for next time.
Okay, cool. So short thing, I told you about this. I started a LinkedIn page like 5 days ago.
Yep.
This idea comes from My First Million, the podcast we listened to. They were talking about how there's kind of these guys on Twitter who I guess they call the Twitter Mafia or the Guy Mafia, and they're just different pages where people who have experience in like a specific industry will post like kind of like insider knowledge, and like have kind of gained like a pretty big following over the past few months. So an example is the car dealership guy. This guy's like owned a bunch of dealerships, has a ton of experience in the industry, and just give insights on the current market, like what kind of car should you be buying, like what's a good price tag, how much should you be selling your car for, should you be buying a car for, like simple stuff like that. So growing on Twitter, not so much on other platforms yet, and so just kind of for fun, I'm interested in sales, so I created a sales page on LinkedIn, and a couple thoughts. One, I think there's a huge opportunity on LinkedIn for like content creation, period.
Yep.
The content on LinkedIn sucks. It's awful. It's like, it's cringy. It's annoying and it's really fake. And, I think that's kind of I kind of want to take some of the points from Twitter, like the genuine, but like, and legit, like frameworks and just ideas, take that from Twitter and move it over to LinkedIn.
By the way,
And I think
a lot of the most liked posts on LinkedIn are these carousels from Twitter, which is screenshots of people's tweets.
Yes.
And, like, posted in a row, and you swipe through them. So
yeah, crazy. And so yeah, and like, dude, LinkedIn is I don't have the statistics on it, but like, dude, everybody uses LinkedIn. Everybody uses it. Everyone is on it somewhat frequently, and but content hasn't taken off yet.
Yep.
Other thing about LinkedIn is it's really freaking easy to get followers and like build connections. When you connect with somebody, especially if you have mutual connections, 90% of the time they're going to accept your connection.
Really? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Are you sending messages, or are you just sending the connection request?
No, I haven't even been sending messages, just connection requests. So I started 5 days ago. I didn't tell anybody. I just started connecting with literally random people, like not even people I know, and started 5 days ago at 0. Today, as of like an hour ago, I was at 83 followers.
Nice.
And it's been like exponentially growing every day. So like first day I had like 10, the next day I had like 30, the next day I had 50, and now I've got 80. So yeah, dude, it's crazy. I've been posting it's crazy. And so I think there's an opportunity there for, like in my case, like I'm posting sales stuff, like down the road. I think like recruiting, like connecting people with different job opportunities and just taking recruiting fees, I think is huge, especially if I get people like engaging with content.
Yeah, yeah, it's got to take off first though.
For sure.
Yeah, you got to make sure people are engaged. How's your engagement so far?
Oh, dude, it's horrible. It's horrible. I think that's going to be the hurdle with LinkedIn. Like 2 likes per, per post.
Yeah, let me tell you something that I think is super useful. One, always post a picture whenever you make a post,
Okay.
and two, if you go and comment on other people's posts, just go
Yeah.
through and I don't know, man, spend 5 minutes or whatever. And
Okay.
a couple tips when you're commenting: always at the person, so always make sure to mention them because that's going to bump you to the top. And also, if you use more than 5 words, I guess that helps your ranking. So you're going to get seen by that person, but also all the other people. And so,
Yeah.
for example, if you make a comment and you're pretty new on the post, then you can bookmark it and you can go back 2 days later and you can follow all those people, connect with all those people, or
Wow.
I don't know, connect with the people who are in the comments. Literally go through and connect with everyone that someone's mutual with. Comment, make posts. I don't know, do it 3 times a week or something, whatever your schedule
Wow, yeah.
is. But make sure you're consistent. I think that's a lot of value. And then,
Yep.
yeah, I think interacting with with other people's posts will really make them notice you.
Okay.
Like
Love it.
that's something you said about Sahil Bloom, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah. So,
Yeah. He's been killing it. He's been going off. Hey, what do you think about messaging? Like current connections?
what are you gonna message him about?
I don't know. This is an idea. I don't really know how I feel about it, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I think about sending a message and just like, hey, like appreciate the connection. I'll be posting sales like a quick sales prompt every day. Like, basically, is there anything that you would like me to write on, or anything you're struggling with, that sort of thing. Like basically, do you have any content ideas you'd like to hear about, and then I'll write on that content and like tag them.
I like it.
Okay.
I think test it out with some people that you're not best friends with.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Okay. Cool.